Hey, I'm Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Chase.
You said that weird. And
I
you're
did.
watching, yeah, and you're watching Heavy Metal Breakdown. Yeah, I'm like, your delivery is off, man. But it's okay. Hey, we're back, and boy, we have got a couple of a couple of great albums to talk about today, and or at least stuff we have a lot to say about. Um, Chase, would you tee up this first album that we're going to talk about today?
Sure. Our first album, our new album for this week, is Sabotage Madness Reigns from the Gutter. Released June 26th, 2026 on Ear Music. This is Savage's fifth live album, and it was recorded at the Palace in Los Angeles, California, way back on June 26th, 1990.
Yes. So this is an
Yeah.
archival release. This was intended to be their first live album, but for some reason, Atlantic Records, who I believe that's who they were with at the time, rejected the album or shelved it. I think, at the time, late 80s, early 90s, the live album as a thing had kind of largely fallen out of vogue. I can think of a couple of major live albums from like the early 90s, but they're kind of outliers. Ozzy Live and Loud and Slayer, Decade of Aggression. But outside of
Ah,
those, I can't think of a lot of stuff from that time period where we're doing live albums. Um, um, but this is a fantastic document of Sabotage really at the height of their powers. They're on tour
yeah.
for Gutter Ballet, which is a fantastic album, and yeah,
Sorry.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Chase, some initial thoughts about this, please.
Yeah, this could easily work as a best of their early years. I mean, as a live album should, it should be a nice time capsule.
Yeah,
Nice, yeah, and yeah, it does that really well. I noticed it features songs off of Sirens, Power of the Night, Hall of the Mountain King, and Gutter Ballet, mercifully skipping over Fight for the Rock, which wasn't that bad as we discussed earlier, but yeah.
off show, pre-show. Yeah, we talked about that. No, Fight for the Rock's okay, but the label really wanted them to make a very commercial record, and they did. But the band didn't like it, and so they didn't. They never played songs from it live. Um, it is just fine as an album, but it's it's not Hall of the Mountain King, it's not Gutter Ballet, it's not Power of the Night. So yeah, um, it's not Dungeons Are Calling, whatever. So but it is just okay. Uh, but this is a terrific record. The energy and the performance uh, of Sabotage is phenomenal. These songs have really stood this test of time. I listened to this over and over the last few days. I mean, this is a really great live record. It's really a shame that it didn't come out back then. Um, uh, but I love it. It's like I said, the energy is great and the performances are fantastic. John Oliva, vocalist, there are some spots where he doesn't quite hit all the notes or all the highs, like that he, perfectly like on the albums, but the delivery is so good um, as far as just like being in the moment, it works, right? And as a frontman, his stage banter is really good, really entertaining too. It's like really keeping the crowd energized, and I just love that. Um, of course, his brother, the late great Chris Oliva, who was tragically killed killed by a drunk driver in 1993, is in incredible form on this record. And this is there is a live album, a compilation live album that is a tribute to Chris, but this album also I think serves that purpose quite well. Um, but what were some like highlight tracks for you on this? I mean, it's a great smattering of their early albums.
Power of the Night, Mentally Yours, and of course, Hall of the Motherfucking Mountain King. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. For me, it was Strange Wings, When the Crowds Are Gone, and Sirens. Were like, yeah, those were the real like smokers on this album. But Yeah, this is really terrific stuff. I mean, like this would be a great introduction to Sabotage, and if you're already a Sabotage freak, this is essential. This is so good, man. I love a live album, and I enjoyed the hell out of this, man.
Yeah. Something else of note here that this event was broadcast live on the local rock station, NAC or KNAC, and not sure which,
KN
for those who couldn't
stop
attend. What?
KNAC Chase.
Oh,
KNAC.
okay.
It's a pretty famous radio
Okay.
station. Anyway.
Oh, I wouldn't know. My bad.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, yeah, it's terrific. And yeah, yeah, the radio broadcast live records, those are really cool. A lot of those turn up as bootlegs, which is kind of interesting. I've heard some Judas Priest ones, for example, that are very cool. But you know, like for US power metal, it doesn't get much better than Sabotage.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I have made the argument that, you know, like okay, American heavy metal, our chief exports are hair metal and thrash metal, okay? But for the traditional side of heavy metal, it could definitely be argued that perhaps Savatage are the great American heavy metal band.
Not much of an argument there,
Yeah,
I
I
would say.
mean, like, you know, it's like if thank you, like it's like if Manowar were better players and you stripped away all that bravado and shit talking and they were more like artists. Here's Savatage, you know. There's even a song about metal on this, you know, Power of the Night. Children of the Metal Movement. I love that lyric.
Oh, yeah.
That rules. And I think for a lot of people in the 80s, if you were a diehard metalhead, it really did feel like a movement, and that, you know, that was an exciting time. But historically, I mean, I was a kid, but yeah, horns way up for this, man. It's Savatage and they rule. It's a gimme. Do you have any other thoughts on this, or just cool?
Uh, no, we're good, man. This is an amazing album.
Yeah, I love this. I'm definitely going to be coming back to this. This rules. But yeah, with that said, why don't we move on to our next segment, Chase? And what's that called?
Okay. Up next on Chase's classic album, we have Megadeth, Countdown to Extinction, released July 14th, 1992 on Capitol Records. This is Megadeth's fifth full-length studio album, and the album cover was the reason I couldn't enter the Sam Goody at the mall for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, this album cover did scare me as a kid too. But it was like the first Megadeth image that I ever saw. And so I'm going to back up. One interesting thing to note. Okay, so the year or so previous, okay, you had Skid Row, Slave to the Grind, debut at number one. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusions 1 and 2, to debut at number one. Metallica, Black Album, debut at number one. This debuted at number two, and do you know why? Do you know what kept it from debuting at number one?
I don't.
Billy Ray Cyrus's hit album, Some Gave All. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible?
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
So, okay, so here's some history for me, like with this album, okay? So I'm 14 and I'm already into like Metallica and Anthrax and, you know, and like some of the classic bands are still getting played on the radio, okay? I am like, okay, I am ready. I am ready to get serious about heavy metal. And I'm like, okay, who are some of the next guys I should be looking out for? I've heard of Megadeth. I don't even know about the Megadeth Metallica connection with Mustaine, right? I'm young, okay? But I'm like, okay, I had seen the t-shirt of Countdown. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe that must be the one to start with. That must be like really good one, right? And so I found this used at the Moondog Records in Gresham, Oregon. In there, they had a discount kind of like little CD bin, and they had several Megadeth ones. But I was like, okay, I'll pick that one up. And I take this home, and I'm like, what the hell are these vocals? What did I just buy a lemon? Like I was not, because it's weird, right? It's Mustaine's voice, especially of this as a first exposure to this band, this weird ass voice. I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. But what I did was, okay, remember the movie Mr. Holland's Opus?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, when Dreyfuss is talking about falling in love with John Coltrane, but he first picks up a Coltrane record and he doesn't get it, and so he just listens to it and listens to it and listens to it until it clicks, and that's what I did with this album. And then when it clicked, I'm like, okay, I think I get this. This is different. This is not like Metallica and Anthrax. This is definitely not like Priest and Scorpions and some of the other and the hair metal that I'm listening to. But I'm like, okay, but I think we figured this out. We've kind of it's unlocked, and we're gonna try it out. And not long after that, I did pick up Rust in Peace and Euthanasia in pretty short succession, and that was like the trilogy for a good while for me. And then Cryptic Writings was like the first new Megadeth album for me, which was a really big deal. Okay. And this album also is kind of the beginning of Megadeth's commercial arc, that would peak with Cryptic Writings because that was an enormous album, and then crumble with Risk because they went too far.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just kind of just been rehash. Varying quality for sure. But I think the world needs not the world needs a hero, but the system has failed was pretty good. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, what's your origin story on this album, Chase?
Well, I saw it. I mean, after being completely unnerved by the album cover, I wasn't really. I remember like hearing people talking about Megadeth after that, and just kind of like, oh, those guys, yeah, no, I'm not giving that a listen. And then I nutted up, and about 10 years ago, I gave him no.
10 years ago.
No, I found this one at a Goodwill.
Yeah.
Like when I was like 16, 17, and I gave it a listen, and I was like, wow, I'm glad I only spent $2 on this because those vocals, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it is
Didn't do it for me.
It's such a weird flex. I mean, like, and because this is not a pure thrash metal album, too, that doesn't help sell you on those vocals. So
No.
as a first exposure to Megadeth, it's kind of amazing to soldier on and continue like checking out more stuff from them. Even though this was a huge hit album, right? Okay.
Yeah. I knew people who said like, oh man, if you're like in I want to say high school or so, somebody was telling me that Sweating Bullets is one of their favorite songs ever, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I think I may have a little more affection for this album than you do, but let's see. Why don't we go track by? Why don't we go track by? I'm not. And look, I do not have a lot of enthusiasm for Megadeth, but I kind of had some nostalgia that I was experiencing when I was listening to this. It kind of took me back, and so let's just go. So album opener, "Skin of My Teeth." This is an okay song. But what a weird choice for an album opener, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite song on the track, but it is definitely sorry, on the album is definitely tolerable.
Yeah, but yeah, as like that is the first Megadeth song I ever heard, and I'm like, what? This is weird, like okay, it's about somebody like dying, their life, ebbing away from a car crash. Oh boy, gee, that's we're in for some fun. Now we'll say on this album as a whole, there's a lot of like issues songs, which is like, hey, that's cool, but like not all of them land. I'll say that. There was some hilarious shit on this record, which we'll get into. Yeah, so like, Skin of My Teeth. I don't know. It's okay. I think a lot of this, like these songs that are like the ones that are kind of like, I don't know, they're saved by like the guitar playing and the music the composition is actually quite good, and
yes.
I have to say this is album 2 from the golden lineup of Megadeth. Okay. They had the Marty Friedman is awesome. David, Ellefson, Nick Menza, that, with Dave, that quartet was something really special. And yeah, so I can't knock the composition and the songwriting, but boy, are there some odd choices and some things that haven't aged well and some just bad lyrics. And we're going to talk about that. Symphony of Destruction, I do like, and I think that is still, I still think that's a good song. It's still one of the highlights of the Megadeth canon. Certainly the strongest from their commercial period, which really begins here. That's a banger. That song's great. Architecture of Aggression is interesting. It's kind of like, hey, another indictment of America kind of song. And we're talking about, like, you know, the world geopolitics and, you know, and empire. And, you know, okay, this is actually kind of a pretty intelligent song. I'm like, okay, you know, like you're right. Okay, so far you're still living up to the nickname as the Thinking Man's Metal Band, you know, even though I'm like, think harder, please. Now, for Closure of a Dream, also we're getting into, okay, another issue. This is about the American farm crisis, and like, some of the lyrics are a little dicey on this one, but I'm like, okay, cool. This is about something real and a real problem, and like, okay, I'm in. I'm here for it. What do you have to say?
It has the tastiest solo on the whole album. About halfway through for Closure of a Dream. I loved it. I'm not a guitar person. I'm not trained in any way, shape, or form, but you know, sound good to me.
yeah. So for Closure of a Dream, hey, that's a good song. Then we get Sweating Bullets, which I was just smiling, like laughing at this song. It's one of the big songs from this record. They did a video for it. We met when we worked at Carlton Saw Chain in like 2006, okay? And there was a girl that we worked there with, Mary Franklin. I'll never forget her. She's a nice girl. I almost dated her. But she said that the video for Sweating Bullets was the first music video she ever saw, and it scared the crap out of her. Because she was like a little girl, right? But it is weird. It is weird, and I can understand that. But like, the song is silly. It's just like, is this a parody? Is this like, this is peak Dave Mustaine just like talking about Dave Mustaine shit, right? Yeah, and I don't know. I just think it's kind of goofy now, even though it was a big song. So I don't know, man. What do you think about this track?
Geez. Again, it's that voice, that the Mustaineism. I don't know what to call it. It's what his voice does.
Hello, me. Like, oh man, shut up. You know, like, yeah.
He sounds like like that video. He sounds like an angry Star Wars nerd getting mad that you mispronounced the deep lore character's name. It's called Shido.
That is hilarious. Yeah, and no, that's really what it is like. And like, dude, yeah. So like, there was a time I was all about that song. Although musically, it's great. There's a lot of great music on this record, and I think that's really what holds it together. And I think that's what holds every Megadeth album together, because that voice and the lyrics can be good for Megadeth, but also they can be really bad. Like in the next song, This Was My Life. This is a song I think about someone on death row, but this actually contains the lyric, "There were words strung into sentences." Oh, really? Like, wow, how deep? You mean like how all talking or writing works? Wow. And like, also, in our business there is sin, in our beliefs there is lie, in our bodies there is die. That is dumb as shit. Don't try to be profound with just like basically pun lyrics. Get out of here with that. Lame. Super lame. Musically, it's fine. But like, come on. And again, interesting subject. Okay. But like, dude. And the song Countdown to Extinction. Okay, this is about the environment. This is about, big game hunting, and it's like, and it's condemning that, the big game hunting part. And, I'm like, okay, I'm in for that. It's a little heavy-handed, a little ham-fisted, but, like the Asian lady voiceover telling you statistics and stuff. There's a lot of dumb stuff like that on this album. And it's just like, okay, like I bought it back then, but I was 14. I'm 44 years old. You know, like 30 years later, sorry, it's not quite land. Is that right? 30 years?
Yeah, 30
Yeah,
years.
okay, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm like, nah, dude, I don't know, man. Um, um, High Speed Dirt, dude, it's a song about skydiving, and I'm like, you'll never get me up doing that shit. Not in a million years. No. And also, so a subject I couldn't give a rat's ass about. I know it was like part of Dave's on and off again sober thing, and like now I'm doing the skydiving shit, and like whatever. But like, never in my life will do it. And also, the end of the song is like a sound effect of like somebody like hitting the ground from like their chute didn't open. I'm like, wow, classy. Uh, um,
That's one of my three the title track and High Speed Dirt are my other two like top three tracks on here. Just sold completely on the instrumentation.
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah, yeah.
lyrics, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Then there's Psychotron, which I'm like, okay, again, the music is good, but I'm like, it's 1992, and you're writing a song about a killer robot. Is this a joke? Like, what? Like, uh, and like, while I've always kind of liked it, I'm just like, this feels like you're leaning so hard into a heavy metal stereotype, and it's kind of embarrassing. You know?
Yeah, the song is all right, but yeah, I see where you're coming from on the God. Okay, again, there is so little thrash on this thrash band's album, but
Yeah.
the instrumentation is still so good that you forgive it. I have a feeling that if these guys wrote something along the lines of Load or Reload, it would still be a sellout album, but it would be far more enjoyable to most people.
Well, interesting. Yeah, because they sort of did that with Cryptic Writings, and it worked though. But
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we are. By the way, we're not reviewing that album. We're gonna stop at Euthanasia. But
Oh, we're not going to review Risk? Oh.
come on, you don't want to talk about. You don't want to have to hear Breadline. Ew. You know.
I want to crush them.
God, it's so funny. I actually liked that song when it first came out, but also I was like 15, 16. So, okay. So, yeah, I mean, Psychotron is whatever. Okay, here we go. Captive Honor, which is the
Yeah.
cringiest thing, not just on this record, but maybe in the entire Megadeth canon. Why would you write a song about this? Why? There's so many like pretty solid issues songs on this record, and I'll give the band credit for that. But I'm like, you lean into horrible racist stereotypes, homophobia, and treat it like this is like the biggest issue that you need to tackle. I'll touch on a few things in this, like the opening narration where like the guy's on trial or whatever, and they're like, for crimes against humanity. What are you being tried in the Hague court? Like what? You know? Um,
Oh, my.
yeah, but also then immediately into the racist stereotype of big black Bubba is I'm gonna be his bitch in prison, and that's what the whole song's about. And I just like, God, that is so like bad. I mean, like this is a song that should be deleted from the catalog. It's so offensive. Um, like uh and uh the whole thing like start kicking ass and taking down the names. I'm like, right, yes, because now we are gonna, yes, let's go after the guys who are doing the prison rape. That is the hugest issue that people are, like are really gonna care about. Like, sorry, look, that happens because the people who run prisons don't give a rat's ass about the people who are in prison. You know, if guards and
Argument
wardens
there.
if the guards and wardens cared about the well-being of the people incarcerated, like they would try to prevent that. And of course they don't. So that is such a nonsense take. It's so naive and childish. And again, we're just leaning into racism and homophobia and all kinds of just like not good stuff. And shame on you, Megadeth, for doing this song. It's repulsive. So yeah. I don't think anyone should be sexually assaulted, even if you are a criminal. but like, dude, this song is like, it's just a painful joke. It's so bad. Do you have any thoughts on this, or is my rant
At
enough?
least they at least they didn't go out on that one.
Yeah, can you imagine if that was the album closer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or opener? God, that'd be even worse. But like, okay, and then we have another weird song to close the album, Ashes in Your Mouth, which I don't, to this day, I don't know what I really feel about it. How about, what do you?
I thought it was a fine closer. I just didn't think it was, again, not a particularly good. Like, okay, you hear Megadeth, you have an idea in your head about what it's going to sound like, and some of these songs just don't match it. And I totally, completely get what people are, give it the sellout tag, because why else would you sound like this? And
Right.
that's just one of those songs.
Yeah. And I don't know that people called this a sellout album, um but it's definitely like, it is a departure from thrash metal, and this album was a huge hit and a huge seller, but I think it has aged really poorly. Um, in 1992, this was probably cutting edge and like, whoa, okay, here we go, Megadeth. But like now, I'm like, man, there's like this is like, God, even in their prime as musical craftsmen, I'm like, they have stuff that is just like, woof, dude, this is not good. Um, I think this is a band whose success relies entirely on like nerds who like go to Guitar Center, you know, and like those um, guys who read Guitar World, because like, man, I don't know, dude. I can't defend Megadeth. I can't. I can't really understand why they are still such a big deal to so many people. You know, compared
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the first band we talked about in this show, who are criminally underrated and are, sorry, 10 times the songwriters that Dave Mustaine is.
Again, you're just, yeah, no argument. Once again, no.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
Countdown to Extinction, a mixed bag at best.
at
You,
best, correct.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that's how we have that. This is our penultimate Megadeth review. We are going to talk about Euthanasia, probably in a few weeks or something, and then we're going to be done with them. Yeah. So unless we go see Megadeth live, that would be the last time we talk about them. Yes. Uh, yeah. So okay. So why don't we get into some upcoming shows, and then we'll wrap for today? Does that sound good, Chase?
All right, man, let's go.
Yeah, we got a couple new things on the calendar too. We'll talk about those. Yeah. So let's see. Coming up in just a couple of days, America's greatest hardcore band, Alienator, have an EP release show at the new Blackwater with support from the Wasted Strike, Social Ills, and Dry Heave. That's going to be a dope show. Really wish I didn't have to work because I love this band. But I hope people go out and see them because that's such a great, great act. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Get down to Madras, Oregon for Central Organics 11-year anniversary and see Acidic Decay, Damage Overdose, and rapper Showrilla. It's a death metal and hip hop show at the Weed Dispensary in Madras. So enjoy that if you're in Central Oregon. Let's see, or Southern Oregon. My geography is not amazing, but down there somewhere. Let's see. On Wednesday, July 29th, it's a thrash metal show at the Blackwater. Blood Rot, Battle Cattle, Violent Insurrection, and another band whose name I can't read. But that's only like $10 for an evening of thrash metal, and that should be a dope time. Get out to that if you can. Um, some extreme metal night at the High Watermark Funeral Chant. Oh, I have to look at my notes because I could not read this. Oh shit, Chase, do you have the? Oh, I didn't put the. This band in the middle. I can't read the name, and I forgot what it was, and I didn't have my notes queued up. So whatever they're called, whatever. But Diabolic Oath are all also on the bill, and this is a blackened death metal thing tonight. So enjoy that night of metal extremity. On um, excuse me, Friday, July 31st, 6 Feet Under and Cataclysm are on their co-headlining tour. They're playing the Hawthorne Theater, and they'll have support from Damage Overdose and Wormhole. Go check that out. That's a big night of death metal for you death metal enthusiasts. Um, let's see, August 1st and 2nd, head over to the Offbeat for 2 days of hardcore. This is like 30 bands and some great bands that we really like, such as Dead Heat and gosh, I've seen bands like Guilt and Misery Whip and some other, and Fortune, and these are some really cool bands. There's a whole bunch of great stuff there. Go check that out. Oh, the Flail, who are rad. I really want to see that band sometime. But yeah, this is great. We have an excellent hardcore scene in Portland, and if you also like this style, you should check that out. Let's see. I want to remind folks also another festival from August 13th through the 16th in Seattle at the Substation. It's Soldiers of Steel. With headliners Sanctuary, Liege Lord, Sacred Blade, Hellwitch, Saint, and the Accused AD, plus 24 other great speed, thrash, power, and traditional heavy metal bands. This is going to be a great weekend of heavy metal. Get up there if you can do it, man. And then let's see, on August 16th, if you're going to be here in Portland, let's see, Acid Bath and Yob are going to be playing at the Pioneer Courthouse Square. Support from La Cabra and Sean James. What is that, country music? I don't even know. But anyway, that'll be a show out there that you can check out. Acid Bath, not really my thing, but boy, do some people really love them. I saw Yob a long time ago. That's some good doom. But yeah, go to that if you want to. Want to remind people about Coven with Headless Pez, Imperiosis, and Dead Nexus at the Hawthorne Hideaway on August 22nd. This is Jamie's last show with Coven in Portland anyway. They got some more festival dates before he splits. But yeah, Coven rules, and go check them out. Imperiosis, great new band. I just saw their first show. They're rad. So yeah, get out to that if you can. And oh, that was the end of the calendar. So that is going to be our show for today. Chase, if you wouldn't mind, would you hit us with a sign-off, please?
Sure. Thanks for watching Heavy Metal Breakdown. Like, comment, subscribe, and remember to keep thrashing, screaming, twisting, banging.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, and good night.